Africa, channel 405. Oil prices have soared to their highest level since 2008 in early trade amid the risk of a Western ban on Russian oil imports. This is exacerbated by delays in the Iran nuclear talks and the potential return of Iranian crude exports. The oil benchmark jumped by nearly 13% to hit $130 a barrel, on a track for its biggest daily percentage gain since May 2020. The U.S. and its European allies are said to be discussing a possible ban on Russian oil imports to tighten the economic squeeze on President Vladimir Putin over the war in the Ukraine, a move that could see economic consequences globally. Now, the question tonight is, how will this affect South Africa and the African continent as a whole under the current economic climate? Ubuntunomics Director Sbu Nyathi joins me now to unpack this. Sbu, good evening, and thank you very much for your time. Oil sanctions on Russia would certainly not only be detrimental for Russia, but how will it impact us in South Africa, but the continent at large?
Hello there, Thabo, and your viewers. For starters, there will be the obvious, which will be the cost of transport. Transportation will go up. That will impact on inflation because things like basic foodstuffs will definitely have to go up. And then even things like metals will go up. We expect that these will have a direct impact on the cost of borrowing, because central banks throughout Africa, especially South Africa, we are waiting for the Reserve Bank to hike our repo rate. So that we will have high inflation, and which will impact investment, because once the cost of borrowing goes up, investment usually dries up. So there's that. It means that governments will have to step in and come up with innovative ways to combat all of this. Things like price controls, we'll have to start thinking about those. I know currently there's this mythical belief that governments should stay out of economics. They should just come up with what they say is an environment, for a conducive environment for business to prosper. But when you have these impacts, these external forces coming, bearing down on you, you need a state that is agile, a state that will react and be proactive. So I would say the neoliberal state is dead. We need to have a state that is reactive.
Some saying, I mean, this is a war. How do you respond with policy instruments to a war that is really uncertain as to how long, firstly, it will go, how it will turn out, and what the future holds, and therefore, what instruments in policy do you use, or even what instruments can you use in the economy to shield yourself against an unpredictable war?
Yeah, this is a war fought tens of thousands of kilometers away, but we are in a globalized world where the war, the physical war, may not impact on us directly, but things like prices, as you have said, oil is going up to 140. That's $140 per barrel. That's almost like a record high. So what needs to happen is that you need to have a reserve bank that will use its monetary policy to sort of like cushion the economy. Hence, what I suspect is that the Reserve Bank will hike up the repo rate. If I was in the shoes of the governor, I wouldn't hike up the repo rate because South Africa, as it is is stagnant. Our economy is not growing, and so these external factors should not be impacting on us as immediately. So there are other monetary tools that he could use, and also there are fiscal tools that the government can employ. Things like trying to boost aggregate demand in the economy by, as the government has said over and over again, that they will embark on this infrastructure build program. So what I would do is I would concentrate on South Africa and never mind things like the debt to GDP ratios, how high they are. I mean, we are on average, South Africa is not highly indebted, and in what is most important is that South Africa has most of its debt is in the local rand. So you've got fiscal tools to use, sort of like borrow a little bit more locally. Don't go to the IMF or World Bank, or make it easier for banks to extend loans. That is on the monetary side, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk then about what we can do as a continent. Is there a way in which the continent of Africa can come out here actually net positive on the side of oil and similar other commodities, especially since we're talking here the free trade agreement and what we can do as a continent to harness the power that we have in our natural resources?
The continent, we've got all of these blocks and we've got all of these individual country interests. Like the president was saying today, reminding everyone that 23 countries didn't vote chose to abstain from voting, and some countries on the continent chose to condemn Russia. So we've got all of these blocks. Like West Africa is more on the side of the West, Central and East Africa more on the non-aligned movement side. So you've got all of these conflicting interests within the continent. But on the positive side, one thing that can happen is that there will be a commodity price boom, and so countries might get a little bit more in their kitties than they expected, but that is none of their doing. It's just luck on their side. So there could be luck, but that will have to be measured against the real cost of inflation or lack of investment in these countries, because investment might dry up. There might be lower foreign direct investment into Africa. There's already stagnation in most African countries because they are highly indebted. So you will get all of these. Africa is a bit of a mixed masala at the moment.
Sbu Nyathi, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for enlightening us, the Director of Ubuntunomics, Sbu Nyathi, on the impact of rising crude oil prices on the economy of the African continent and South Africa in particular.